So our character has some clothes on, but he is still he is still lacking some detail in the clothing. Right? Some of the clothes are a little heavy right now. So I want to kind of smooth it out just because it's kind of protruding a little bit. So we're just gonna let's go BCB, and then that just brings up my normal clay buildup, and then I'm just gonna smooth this out a little bit.
I think your stream is paused.
Oh, my stream is paused. Whoops. Let's see.
Shows pause for me.
Same here.
Swap application to resume. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, I think this weather's messing up my stream. Don't you do it. Here we go. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. All right. Cool. So, let's see. I kind of want this to be like almost like Under Armour, right? So like he's wearing like so almost like Under Armour to protect from all this the metallic stuff that he has to wear or whatever. So it's gonna be a little skin tight, but not too skin tight. So let's go BMV. We're going to move tool.
Excuse me, how many more assignments and quizzes are we gonna have left until Thursday, May the 9th?
How many more assignments and quizzes? I think there's only like two. I think everything should be released already. There's only one more assignment or one more quiz that hasn't been released, and that's a quiz that kind of essentially like combines all the other quizzes together.
So when are you planning on activating the rest of the quizzes for us to do until Thursday, May the 9th?
Oh, probably this weekend. Probably this weekend. It should be there by Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Let's move some of this back a little bit. Mm. A little bit of cleanup. Never hurt anybody. All right.
Which Dallas College campus do you live closer to?
I don't know, Brookhaven maybe. I used to live really close to Richland. I used to really live close to Richland, but I moved really far away, so I teach all my classes online now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's isolate this body once again, and I kind of want to show you guys. let's append an object. Cylinder. All right. We talked about giving him a staff. We made a staff, but if you wanted to make one inside of the program real quick, I'll show you guys how to do that. All right, make a staff. Boom, about that big. All right, and then I will now append. Ooh, this is kind of cool looking. Tip of this. Just gonna use this as a placeholder just to show you guys how to do some of this stuff. All right, so let's make this obnoxiously huge, right? Just like, cause you know, with all of these characters, they have to have just some ridiculous blade or some nonsense like that. All right, so we're just gonna. I don't know if I want to give him twin versions or just one. Sometimes these characters have two of them, and I'm like, there's absolutely no way this guy can even hold one of these. Talk less of two, but you know, movie magic and game magic. It's a real thing. All right, so what you want to do is like to make this like a prop by itself, right? You can just go in here and you can go to your merge, and I'm just gonna do a merge down, right? So I'm just gonna hit OK. Now it's merged these two together for me, all right? And then I can now take this guy, maybe place it. Ooh, a little bit of thunder, a little thunder in action. All right, so we're just gonna place it. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna show you guys something else. All right, so if this is my weapon and I want to place it on my character, all right, I'm gonna just rotate it a little bit. Let's just rotate. Boop. All right. Yeah. All right. It's already intersecting with this guy. Ooh, oddly enough, it fits in this little random thing, right? Happy accident. Look at that, guys. Happy accident. All right, so now something I can do is, since I've got like my little, oh, it's destroying his tail and leg. All right, you gotta look. All right, let's make sure it goes past. A little bit. I might have to delete this little IMM thing. Yeah, it's alright, go. Alright, let's get rid of that nonsense. Now we can work with our alright, now let's put this guy. Ooh, see, look. See, that's what I wanted. I wanted to kind of like poke out like that a little bit. Let's move it in place. All right, cool. So now I've got one on this side, and I want to mirror the other one. So there's some transform tools and Z plugins that you can use. We're going to use something called Subtool Master, right? And we're going to use this mirror, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to mirror whatever object we have on its X, Y, or Z axis. Right now we want to mirror on the X axis. Boom, it does that for us. And now we've got this kind of cool looking, this kind of device looking thing right here. All right, let's draw. Here we go. All right, so we've got our little staffs in here. Our guy's got a weapon. All right, so now let's say we want to add some more of that detail that we had in the back to the front. All right. So we've got all this action in the back here. We want to add some of it to the front. So I would just start doing the same thing that I did for this guy. So, right. And with a lot of these guys, you just want to start creating. Right. I'm just going to maybe do something like this. Like this. I'm just trying to look for some interesting, shapes, right? Because what I'm gonna do is my idea is I'm gonna layer them on top of each other. So maybe I do one extract for this, right? And what makes these things start to look cool is when they're kind of starting to interweave with each other and they look like they're organic, real kind of mix. Let me see if I can find some good reference for what I'm talking about.
Will you still be teaching 3D modeling and rendering classes online?
Probably. I probably will. Why? Are you trying to join another one of my classes?
No, I just still have 6 more classes left under my Interactive Simulation and Game Technology AAS
Okay.
degree. So technically, I'm under the art animation design specialization of the degree.
Okay. Let's find an elite. Okay, that's not what I thought I was gonna pull up. Halo. That's his body. See, yeah, theirs is kind of bulkier, right? Their designs are kind of bulkier, but this is which Halo is this? It's like an older. Okay, I like stuff more like this. Yeah, you see how like that stuff looks like it fits into each other. Like it looks like there's like a rubber padding, and then on top of that rubber padding, there's like some metal, carbon fiber, you know, whatever alloy that they like to use, kind of deal, right? That's what I'm talking about. Is that mix of mesh machine kind of you see that a lot with the elites. Very interesting character design. One of my favorite games. That's an interesting concept design for an elite. Very Iron Man-esque. Hey, it's mixed with the Mark 5. That's why it looks like Mark 5 looked like Iron Man's armor. All right, yeah. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. So I will leave this up for myself up here, and then I'll just start designing and stealing like an artist from the pieces that I like and try to mesh it into mine. And as usual, right? Don't always use your pure ref board of your anatomy reference to help you get to help you move this stuff along. Because if you're not doing that, you're really doing yourself a disservice. If we're being honest. So it's cool. Isn't there like a show? I think there's like a new show. There's a new Halo show too. It's pretty interesting. Alright. Okay. Now let's get back to Zbrushing. Okay. Just gonna add this a little more fullness. Alright. And I'm holding down Alt, right, to do the opposite. Right now I'm just gonna connect this. Connect this a little more. Maybe something heavier. Okay. Yeah, something kind of like a flare. Alright. So let's extract this bad boy. Let's go to our extract mesh. Let's hit the extract button. I'm gonna accept this guy. Alright. Oh no. What happened was I had this guy. It's solo. Let me solo it and show you my mistake. Alright, so here's the mistake I made. I still had the back of it masked, but this might be a happy accident because I might use this. I might keep this. It looks kind of cool. But I still had the back masked, right? So this is my fault. I had the back still masked. I hadn't cleared this mask. So now when I extracted it, it actually extracted all of it at once, which is kind of cool now that I see it, right? Let me make a couple of alterations here and there. All right, it's a happy accident. But I want you guys to know what happened. So you're not just like, why does it look like that? That's not what you masked. All right. So now let's extract this. I'm gonna delete this one, but I'm gonna extract a new one. Okay. I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna delete it by going to geometry. Subtool. Delete. Okay. Alright. So now this is our new starter. Alright. So instead of soloing, I'm just gonna not solo this bad boy. Alright, now I'm gonna go back to this, the body. Let's solo this. Now to clear this mask, control, boom, just like that. That was my fault. Alright. So now I kind of want to add a little more flare. So maybe something that protects his ribs. Alright. just kind of using some of what I've already made, right? You know, topology wise, to give me, you know, this stuff. But and you know, I didn't. This isn't like some predetermined kind of design. I'm just kind of going with the flow, and I'm pretty sure you guys can tell. So now I'm just kind of. Because I want more intertwining pieces around here. So let's go to the arm. All right, so maybe he's got a piece of armor right here. All right, maybe we just boom, do something like that, something interesting. Boom, open this up. Control Alt, right? Control Alt, taking some of this away. Maybe take some more of this away. All right. Let's take some of this away. Nope. All right. Let's extract this and see what it gets us. Okay. Looking cool. All right. Let's accept. Okay. Move the solo. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about layering. All right. So I'm just going to now go BMV to my move tool. All right. So now it's going to start either, oops. All right. I removed the, there was a mask on it when it was made, so I just removed that. Let's turn on the close too, just so I see how far I don't want to go. Turn this on. Alright, so you can see around these edges, right? If I hit control, you can see that it's got a mask. So to clear that mask, I'm just going to draw a rectangle outside of it. And then now I can start just moving some of my pieces in place. I told you I kind of wanted to look more like it's melded in a little bit more. Give it a little more love. A little more. Right. So now I'm just kind of playing with the shapes, kind of pulling and pushing and seeing what's looking cool, what's not. Alt to toggle back and forth from, you know, whatever subtool layer you want to, you want to go back and forth from. All right, and I haven't even done any Z remesh on it because like I want to move it around a little bit first before I Z remesh it, because once I Z remesh it, it's gonna Z remesh it at that position, and I don't want to be stuck with something like that. And some of the, so And some of these I'm gonna start doing some let's do B, P, let's do planar, and then you start making some cuts on some of this stuff. Alright. Start making some cuts. Start making some polish and kind of getting some planar action. I'm just trying to see where I can find some happy accidents. Alright. There we go. Alright. There we go. Starting to dig some of this. Right, and I don't want to, because like I don't want the back or the front to be as busy as the back. So it's definitely a choice to let's go BMV here for the back stuff, and then for here. Just gonna smooth some of this out. Right, so now it looks like I have that. Right, like I have these kind of pieces on top of it that's kind of melded on, like I was talking about. That's kind of what I want to go for. All right. And with a lot of these characters, right, it's going to be a lot of geo for the high poly, but once you start low polying and breaking it down, which we're not going to get into in this class because that's like a whole nother subject, a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But and I wish we had the time to get into like some good low poly conversation, but just for this class we don't. But yeah, you can really start getting into let's go BDS. Okay, no BDS, please. The Damien standard brush. And then now I can even go in more, and this is when I'm starting to and I can do the same thing we did on the back, which is start defining some of these is like panels and different things like that. Alt. Oops. Let's do stroke, lazy mouse. Let's do lazy radius. And the smooth, increase the smooth. Alright. Just like that, actually. And this is me doing the opposite. So now it looks like, right, there's like this flat ridged edge. Alright, so now I'll do the same thing here, right, and then if I do boom. It makes it look like I've got kind of this plated kind of look. So that's what I'm going for. Right, and something like this, you would probably actually like just break this section off. Right, what you're doing now is you're just kind of breaking up these pieces for yourself to know, all right, I want to turn this into a section, I want to turn this into, a little armor piece or an armor set, or this will connect here. And I'm trying to think about how a lot of these will connect. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is like, all right, where is this terminating, right? Where does this go? Right? Things don't just randomly appear out of nowhere. You want to give them place to start, place to end, right? Because you want people's eyes to look somewhere and then move on from there. You want areas of interest and areas of rest for people's vision, right? It just makes for a much more pleasing watching experience or viewing experience for whatever it is. If your stuff has like big slots of kind of open clean and then little spots of detail, right? And that's kind of what a lot of these guys do is they'll do, like maybe they'll do, let's take this. I just did that as a mask, right? And I can go here just to show you another way to make some more detail. I'm gonna go to my my deformation, and then I'm gonna just inflate it, just like that. Control, and then now I can draw. That's stupid. All right, so I want to show you how to use let's do the clipping tool. So I'm going to do the clipping curve. This is a cool one. I like this tool a lot. It helps me kind of get some more cool, interesting shapes going on. And to use it, you need to hold down Control and Shift and then click where you want to cut. So I'm going to cut this down, Control and Shift. Right, something like that. But let's solo this so you guys can see what's going on. All right, so what I want to do is I want to kind of clip this curve a little bit. So I want to boom. Right, so now I can start really carving this bad boy up. Right. Oops. Right, it's gonna take you a little second to kind of get the feel of it, but once you start to understand kind of how it works, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, I see what you're doing. So, oops, Control Shift, and then you see where the gray is. That's where it's gonna clip, and that because it's facing those angles, it's gonna clip everything that way. So, to do what I'm trying to do, I'm gonna need to do it on this side. Oops. Just clipping, trying to get something interesting. If I wanted to isolate this guy, all I would have to do is redo the poly groups. There you go. Okay, let's unhide everything else. See what damage we've done. And we've kind of given it some more interesting, more of these kind of angular pieces. And do something similar right here. There you go. All right, now we can do the Damien standard. All right. Kind of following that same motif. Let's see. All right. Moving, pushing, pulling. Trying to get more interesting shapes. Right? So don't be afraid to experiment, try stuff out, pull stuff, right? Just try to see what looks good, right? Especially when you're experimenting with your own characters and stuff like that. Make big sweeping changes. You never know when the right one or the right idea is gonna, kind of come out. So don't stop. That's pretty much today's lecture on sculpting, adding more detail to the front of our character. The chest pieces, we added quite a bit. This guy's come a long way from a little sphere. Right. So the next thing is, what I've essentially kind of showed you guys is with the head one, right? I went through the entire process. If you think about it, I went through the entire process for how you would go through the high poly, texturing it, adding accessories, hair, detail, painting it, and getting it ready to render, right? What I then did was I then went back and started the exact same process over for the body, right? But we didn't get to the texturing, the painting, the posing, and things like that. So that would be something that you guys would have to do on your own, right? If you have your own characters, you have the blueprint now. I've showed you pretty much every step of the way. The only thing that you guys didn't really learn how to do is maybe low poly, but that's one of those things that's kind of going in a way in the industry in small portions. So it's one of those things that I do teach a class on it, but it's not this class. This class is character sculpting, which is what we have done and are doing. All right. So, do you guys have any questions for me? Comments, concerns? You guys have a name for this
I
guy?
So, are you going to extend the due dates for the assignments and the quizzes, or when will they be
Yes. I'm gonna
due before the end of the day?
I'm gonna extend them till the last day of class. I'm gonna extend everything to the last day of class. The last day of school is what I mean, which is the 9th. Right, you'll have the 9th to turn in all the assignments and all of the quizzes, because I think the following Monday I have to have all of your grades in. So if you send me anything after that, there's a good chance your grades will not be submitted.
So, when will you be grading everyone's assignments?
Probably on the 9th or 10th, the day after.
Okay. Also, did you see what I put in the chat?
Yeah, about the stuff, the Zbrush.
No, about like the game studios that I'm thinking about working for as a video game designer in the gaming industry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we can talk about that after class. That's cool. Let's see. Anybody else got any questions?
Okay, if we just do our own renditions of another, like, is it okay if I do my own rendition of the Covenant Elite? Is basically what I'm trying to ask,
Yeah, of
or
course, of course.
is that just not allowed?
No,
Okay.
like what I've said is use whatever you know. The idea is to just use the techniques and show it for the assignment. Right, the character is almost irrelevant at this point. Right, so put whatever character you want to do it, but just make sure he has all the principles of what I've been talking about in there.
Okay, thank you. Also, there's one thing I wanted to ask about after class.
Okay, sounds good. Does anybody else have any questions for me?
So, quick technical question. So, obviously, there's not really any way to do like the layering like that in ZBrush